Hey up everyone. Well, stories of Norton's rebuilding have been floating around for a while now, and many of you might not really know much about their new parent company TVS. But TVS are the third biggest manufacturer in India, and if you count how many bikes they could technically produce, now they would sit in the top 5 manufacturers in the world according to some. I can't verify that, but they are without doubt one of the other companies expanding out of India, and they are set to make their mark on the world stage. We've been told that despite dropping all of the old range, there will be 6 new bikes from Norton in the near future. We almost certainly know that one of them will be a 450 twin platform based on the new GS450 they are building for BMW. And it would also seem likely that they will build their own version of the GS310 they have been building for BMW since its introduction. Details around the 450 twin are still sparse, but an A2 license compatible spec would seem likely, and that would make it around 46 to 48 horsepower and 180 to 200 kilos. So it will be a direct competitor for the Honda NX500, CF Moto MT450 Ibex, and the other 500 twins available now. But at Norton, what is going on beyond that is still shrouded in mystery and conjecture, really. We've been told there will initially be 6 bikes launched under the Norton banner, but what they will be is yet to be seen. The 450 engine utilises a semi-wet sump lubrication system with 2 oil pumps, one for pressure and one for suction. They will be used to circulate the oil and lubricate the gearbox and crankshaft, with the oil then filtered through 2 integrated oil sieves and an oil filter, all of which are easily accessible from the left side of the engine, similar to how the 800GS engine is fed with oil. So in theory, you get the advantage of both a wet and dry sump engine. Beyond that, we know very little really. A 300cc single using the GS310 engine could make another entry-level bike that could be either road-focused or another all-purpose adventure bike. Or maybe they will use both engines to power more than one bike in the way that many manufacturers do nowadays. Order books were full for the Ranger and Atlas, but they never came, and TVS announced early on that there were flaws so bad in the design that they saw them simply as impossible to deliver in the guise they were talked about. TVS did state clearly that they wouldn't be continuing development of the 650 twin platform, and I for one was disappointed with that decision. Was it a mistake? Or could the new 450 engine be re-engineered to deliver a 600cc twin-cylinder engine? That could potentially make for a very light 600cc twin, which sounds great to me. But honestly, I think it's a bit pie in the sky. A 450 Scrambler twin would seem the obvious choice in today's market, tapping into the need for lightweight adventure bikes and Norton's heritage. Maybe we might also get a cafe racer style bike too. With a new UK factory and tariff-free trade between India and the UK, they could decide to fight on price without compromising quality, but there are still many questions. Will we begin to see TVS bikes and Norton bikes as 2 complementary ranges in the same showrooms? A cheaper, lower spec TVS range and a higher spec, higher price point Norton range? Setting up a new dealer network is never easy, but offering both ranges could work, with TVS as a budget-friendly version and the higher spec Nortons. But there have been some developments that could make for an exciting future for both brands. The multi-billion-pound company, who only began building motorcycles in 1979, entered the Italian market in May 2024 with a range of bikes including their single-cylinder Apache 310RR sports bike and the naked 310 RTR, along with some small commuters like the iCube electric scooter. They are continuing with plans to expand into the UK and the European markets, and obviously have big plans for the future. For anyone in doubt, this is not a short-term venture. They have invested millions already, and according to Senior Vice President of TVS's R&D department, Babu Rengarajan, They see a huge potential in bringing a wide range of products into European markets. Having worked within the company for the past 38 years, he has seen the rise of the company firsthand and in an interview stated,
The current range of products that we have cater more to markets like Italy, Spain, France, Germany, and of course, in the future, I think with new products coming out, they will appeal to much wider markets.
He continued,
We have our own motor design team and we manufacture the engines in-house, and we have also invested heavily in the electric side of the business.
Despite their relatively short history on two wheels, the company was founded in 1911 and has the ability to produce a claimed 4.95 million motorcycles and scooters a year now, which would make them the fourth largest manufacturer in the world. Their Apache range is sold in 75 countries, and the iCube electric scooter has now amassed an incredible 4.5 million sales. They purchased the Norton name for £16 million in April 2020, then pumped in an additional £100 million building a new factory in Solihull, and that figure has climbed to over £200 million as TVS prepares to relaunch an entirely new range of motorcycles, dropping all of the existing range. Norton will be the flagship brand of the company, and they have an R&D team based out of the UK, but there is also a Norton technical team sitting in India working closely with TVS's own R&D department. Although yet to be revealed, Norton has stated that a full range of Euro 5 Plus homologated bikes are coming soon, with 6 bikes expected using 3 different engine platforms set to be revealed at EICMA in November. The new range is set to include an all-new V4 Superbike that will move away from the recently discontinued V4 SV, and it is said to be a more modern Euro 5 Plus compliant motorcycle that is ready for global release. The previous bike was sold under the single vehicle approval rules, limiting the customer base to the UK and making a pre-sale test necessary to comply with regulations. However, TVS's Managing Director Sudarshan Venu announced that all 6 new bikes will be fully Euro 5 compliant and available from the summer of 2026 in the UK, France, Germany, Italy, Spain and India. That is some statement of intent, and it will take a Herculean effort to set up distribution, parts supply and dealerships in 6 different countries within a year. So they've set themselves a hard target. He said that it has been a huge challenge for his team to finish the project while complying with the current European emission standards, and a big contrast to the distribution of TVS's own small capacity singles. He continued,
There are challenges in terms of regulations, and in Europe there is also strict material regulation in terms of what we use and percentage limits. These are making the products expensive, and Europe also as a market is expensive. So we are looking at global platforms. We want to leverage our scale and our decades of experience of delivering the best quality, and so we continuously learn.
When asked if the new Norton platform would be used in TVS branded motorcycles in the future, he said,
The technical teams are very closely knit. At a group level, we share a lot of internal engineering with our Norton colleagues, which they build on, and what they bring is their experience with big bikes. All the future plans are integrated. It is something that is being looked at internally as a global company. Norton doesn't stand alone. We are a global corporation, and we will leverage the entire global expertise.
Read into that what you will, but it sounds very much to me that just as they did with BMW and the 310, the various Norton platforms will go on to be used in TVS branded bikes at some point. It now seems likely that there will be 2 300cc single-cylinder bikes, 2 450 twins and 2 V4 superbikes. TVS did establish India's first factory-backed racing team in 1982, competing on short circuits as well as motocross, rally and more. The racing departments form part of TVS's R&D team, using competition to develop new innovations for their products, and we have seen what they can do with Arano's TVS Sherco, which has proved such a strong contender in the Dakar, consistently outperforming the factory Sherco team entries. CEO Babu Rangaranjan stated,
It is about pushing the limits of performance, but more importantly, how you deliver that performance reliably. There is no room for error, there is no room for mistakes, and you don't get enough time to think and decide in racing. You have to do the development in the off-season, but when the season starts, it puts the engineers on their toes and builds a culture that is both courageous and audacious. We try and sometimes fail, but one failure doesn't put you off.
Outside of India and the Dakar, TVS also runs a one-make series as part of the Asia Road Racing Championship, where heavily modified Apache 310 bikes are used, so they do have a racing heritage. But TVS has now announced its purchase of Italian design and development company Engines Engineering. You have probably never heard of Engines Engineering. I hadn't, but they are a specialist R&D company based in Bologna, and they have been designing motorcycles for other manufacturers since the late 1970s. They have apparently developed bikes for Japanese and European manufacturers and even Harley-Davidson, specialising in bodywork, frame and engine design, but only employing just over 100 people. The Harley-Davidson XR338 project was an Engines Engineering design, but it never went into production. Now, in MCN's words, they are a serious third-party company that have helped to develop some of the most popular adventure bikes on the market today. However, in all of my digging, I can find very little information about anything that they have taken successfully to market other than some scooters and a copy of the old Suzuki Katana based on the new GSX S1000. I can't find one single adventure bike design that they have been involved in, either in their own marketing material or anywhere else. And note, MCN hadn't gone to the trouble of even trying to name any of the products. So despite MCN's assertion that they have their finger on the pulse of the European bike scene and are a perfect partner for a non-European company that wants to develop a machine for that market, beyond some work in the 125cc World Championship, I see very little to show for over 50 years of work. I could copy their company description here like MCN did, but I see no hard facts. So beyond the name and the location in Italy, I actually see very little. Now apparently, TVS will use them for prototyping and R&D on motorcycle projects that will be built in India for the European market. But time will tell if this is anything more than a way of introducing the word Italian into some of their designs. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks as always for watching. Why not take a look at some of our other videos, as YouTube is yet again consistently hiding my content. So I guess I can add them to MotoGP, Dakar, KTM and Triumph on the list of people I upset by not feeding people the same old drivel as all the rest. And if that sounds bitter, it is a bit. When I spend 4 weeks producing a video and it has an average watch time higher than some of my most successful content and they still bury it, I do get a bit miffed about it. Cheers anyway, subscribe if you want, but you will still probably have to search the channel for any new videos. But you will always be able to see the latest blogs on the website, and links will bring you to the videos here on YouTube and on Rumble. If you'd like to help us to survive and stay truly independent, on the Ko-fi link in the description, you get access to a private group where I share videos I can't screen on YouTube. There are videos anyone can watch there, but you can make a one-off donation or join our group of monthly subscribers for access to other videos that only the channel's patrons can see. Join us on Rumble too. There is some great content that I just can't screen on YouTube. And don't forget, we make the best biker t-shirts. Hundreds of original designs on premium quality t-shirts and neck gaiters, all available worldwide. Links to the main website and the Red Bull shop are in the description. Have a great week, and always remember, keep your spanners close and your keys even closer. Ride free, everyone!